The Melbourne Storm are off to the big dance. A stellar first half setting up the victory, hanging on for dear life in the second half. And for the Cronulla Sharks, it's the second year in a row they are knocked out in the prelim final, but it was this man, Cameron Munster, and his men that were just too classy in that first half, and the ball control in the second half was way too good, Cooper.
Rock solid performance from the Melbourne Storm. If you're going to beat Melbourne at home, you've got to do the basics better than them. They defended well. 34 from 38 completed sets for the Melbourne Storm. 5 line breaks, low missed tackle count. You do all those things, plus Munster, Hughes, Grant, the 3 best players on the field. That's the recipe for the Melbourne Storm. They delivered. The Sharks were coming at them in that second half, but they just doubled down on defence, got out of their own end, didn't give away too many cheap possessions, and that got them the victory. They were great in the first 40, very professional in the second.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, Coops, I thought. Very professional performance by Melbourne. Held on to the footy. They showed high-quality ball movement throughout the entire match, and their big guns stood up. Munster over 170 metres. Hughes, 8 tackle breaks. He was everywhere.
Isaiah, we spoke about their spine before the game, and they were the difference.
Yeah, they definitely were. I think the way they just connected, combined, I think what set them apart was the fact that, you know, early on in the game they were running. They were in a mood to run, and that's what makes them such a threat and opens up a lot of the opportunities that come off the back of that.
Yeah, they played with speed, they were inspired, and I think there's a lot to do with them losing last year's grand final. They were consistent throughout the year, fell in a couple of flat spots. Everyone questioned what they were doing prior to the finals, but just proved tonight that when you've got role players like Stefano Utoikamanu, Cartel, William Warbrick, if they do their right things and play solid, that spine, when it gets up and going, can beat any team on its day. And the thing that hasn't been really spoken about is they have 2 days better prep for a grand final. I think this team is exactly where it needs to be.
Yeah, the cream does rise to the top for the Melbourne Storm, but it wasn't just their spine boys, their forward pack. Stefano Utoikamanu had a career-best game tonight.
I agree. He's played for New South Wales, played on a big stage, Stefano, but that first 30 minutes particularly, he was great. Physically, took the ball into the teeth of the Sharks' defence, bumped off a couple of big bodies, got the offload for Jahrome Hughes. Then the Melbourne Storm struggled through that little bit in the second half when the Sharks were coming. Fanua Blake comes back on the field. What does Craig Bellamy do? Gets Stefano on, and he matched fire with fire and did a really good job.
Yeah, the Melbourne Storm seem to be maybe protecting their lead in that second half, but it was this that was the match winner, and it was Harry Grant off a quick play of the ball. He jumps out, goes straight, pins the ears back, goes to the left-hand side. What a try this was, Foz.
Like he's done all season, Break. He just picks the perfect time to take off and run. And as we see there, men on the ground, Sharks players out of position. Harry scoops the ball up and off he goes. Like he's done that all season.
Yeah, we spoke about Harry Grant being the most crafty dummy half we have in the competition. Is in the moments of the game with 5 minutes to go in the balance. He sees that blown ruck, and instead of throwing to Cameron Munster or Hughes, he takes off himself.
Yeah, I think that's his blueprint. As soon as he sees the markers out of the way or not in play, that's his cue. All right, I'm going to take off. And it's just awesome to see how everyone just started to push up with him. There's no structured footy. Everything goes out the window. Yeah,
middle of the field, 5 minutes to go. Munster and Hughes go to the right-hand side looking to kick. He spots Fanua Blake on the ground. And some people might get this wrong and think, oh, I've got to go to the halfback. He steps out the other side and just backs his vision to take advantage of the game, because they had the game with 5 minutes to go, but that was a knockout blow. It was a big play from Harry Grant.
The biggest story of the week for the Melbourne Storm was Jahrome Hughes. Will he play? Won't he play? Is he fit enough even if he does take the field? And boy, did he prove that he was. His kicking game was really good, but that individual solo try was the moment early on in the game where we realised that he was ready to play.
Yeah, it was a try, wasn't it, Braith? I mean, what a confidence booster for Jahrome. Coming back, preliminary final, all the question marks over his injuries, and he comes out and does this. I mean, what a line break. Pins the ears back, gets to the line. You can see he gets up there. He just knew he was in the game.
If I'm in a prelim final, I've got a broken stuffed shoulder, broken forearm. I'm playing in a dinner suit trying to get through to the GF. Jahrome Hughes, with his first opportunity to run, just does what he's done throughout his career. Breaks off that right foot, just goes through. He did it all in the first half. And the other part, he didn't get found out defensively, did he, Izzy?
No, he didn't. I think I don't think the Sharks went to him and targeted him as much as they should have or could have. And I just think the way he actually put himself in the picture to make tackles, he wasn't shying away from contact. And I think that paid him back when he ended up getting the footy in his hands.
Yeah, I think sometimes we can overthink big games as halves and try and come up with a play, but ultimately Jahrome Hughes and Harry Grant and Cameron Munster just went in a running attitude.
Yeah.
As soon as there was a quick play of the ball, they ran the football and they said, you know what, let's just play aggressively and we'll work out everything after that. They led from the front. Jahrome Hughes, it's an inspiring performance because a lot of pressure was on him to just turn up and do his role. He did more than that.
Yeah.
He ran the ball as like he didn't even have an injury.
Yeah, the Cronulla Sharks didn't really get at him as much as we thought, and we'll dive into that a little bit later and talk more about the Sharks. But while we're still on the Melbourne Storm, the Broncos and Panthers play tomorrow. They're watching this game tonight. The winner of that game, what do they take out of this? Do they target Jahrome more? Do they think there's a weakness there, or do they? What would they be thinking after watching that 80 minutes of football?
I think that both teams got their hands full with the opposition on Sunday afternoon before you're worried about the Melbourne Storm. Look, I think Jahrome Hughes just proved tonight that, yes, there's a lot of talk. Harry Grant doing a lot of communication here because they've been in this position before and didn't get the victory. This, for the Melbourne Storm, is all about whatever's happened to this point is irrelevant. It's about the next 80 minutes next Sunday night. I think they got the advantage over Penrith and Broncos who play on Sunday. 2-day build-up. They can sit back and watch a little bit and get their bodies in a fresher mind. But I think Jahrome Hughes doesn't walk away from this game with a target on his back. He will be sore. He will have to back up again. But at the end of the day, there's enough confidence in this team that they can carry him through.
And the extra 2 days
Big time.
helps Jahrome Hughes
I
with
think
his
it does.
recovery from the injury, Foz.
Yeah, spot on, Braith. The big four stood up tonight. Pappenhausen, Hughes, Munster, Grant. They were at their running best, as we've spoken about. But they had to be patient too. As we saw throughout that contest, they had a lot of attacking sets on Cronulla's line. Cronulla were brave and gritty in defence. And Melbourne had to be patient, and I love that about their game tonight. We saw that, the killer blow at the end of the game, Harry Grant jumping out and putting on the match winner.
Cameron Munster, big game player, loves the bright lights, loves the big moments, and what a game of footy it was from this man. I mean, we come to expect it nowadays. He just loves it. The more emphasis on a game, the more responsibility on him, he loves it even more.
Yeah, 16 runs for a prelim final. Braith, you wouldn't have had that in 6 weeks as
True,
a half.
very
because
true, very
Cameron
true.
Munster just worries about what is his best attribute. It's running the football because he can work out everything off the back of that. And as we sit there and spoke about Cameron before the game, if he's running the ball in the first 5 minutes, it means he's dialed in. I think he had 3 or 4 runs in the first 5 minutes. Just his ability to evade offenders, it's very good to watch when he's up and about.
Yeah, he was definitely in a running mood, and you could see that sign right from the start of the game. But the thing I love about Munster is he has the smarts about him as well. He doesn't just play off the cuff all the time. He can understand and read what defenders are doing, like he did to set up Pappenhausen for his try.
Yeah, most halves will sort of wait till you get over halfway to run the ball. Munster just doesn't matter where to play the ball is. Dummy half, kick return, close to line, show and go. So the thing about Munster's threat to run, it's not necessarily the defender that is opposite him that needs to be worried about. It's the defender that could be 2 or 3 holes away.